At some point, one has to ask, where is rock bottom for FC Barcelona? We thought we reached it 2 seasons ago when we witnessed the 8-2. Then last season came along and it gave us the capitulation against PSG, as well as the disasters against the likes of Cadiz, Granada and Levante. And just when we thought that was finally rock bottom, this season has come along and we've seen 3 consecutive poor performances against Getafe, against Bayern Munich, and now against Granada. I'm tempted to ask if this is rock bottom, having witnessed Gerard Piqué get subbed on for Yusuf Demir as Barcelona were chasing a goal at home to Granada. However, I'm reminded that Barca still have to play Cadiz next, a team that Koeman just cannot figure out how to beat, and so I will bite my tongue lest I tempt fate into showing me that there is still another rock bottom beneath this rock bottom. Hello everyone and welcome to Blaugrana Everything, and welcome back to the channel and to what is unfortunately another pretty low-spirited and maybe mean match review, taking a look at how FC Barcelona once again dropped points whilst playing at home against Granada. These guys haven't won a match since guess when? Since the last time they came to Camp Nou. That's ridiculous. Now, if rumors were true, Koeman has already failed the first of 3 tests upon which his job hinges, so the next 2 matches take on even more significance. And I mean, honestly, if you're going to grade him out of these 3 matches, this is technically already a fail because he's supposed to have won this game. Anyway, I'm here to review the match, and so in typical Blaugrana Everything fashion, I shall talk about the tactical setup from both teams before then briefly talking about the team performance. Then I will talk about the negatives and positives from the game before picking my man of the match. So let's go ahead and talk about the tactical setup. Ronald Koeman decided to set up his side in a 4-3-3, and he made a few significant changes, none more so than benching Piqué and also trusting Balde to start, which to be honest I was pleasantly surprised by, but this was the starting 11. Meanwhile, former Spain boss and right-hand man of Luis Enrique, Robert Moreno, set his team up as follows. I will now talk very briefly about Barcelona's performance. The performance on a day was as bad a team performance as I've ever seen from Barcelona. There never seemed to be any coordination amongst the players. Busquets and Coutinho seemed off the pace and dallied in possession. Defensively, the organization was lacking from set pieces, and so it was no surprise when Granada scored from 1 just 2 minutes into the game. Barcelona then spent the remaining 88 minutes chasing an equalizer, and once they got it, that was just about that really. It was a turgid performance from Barca. So let me just get on to my negatives and positives. My first negative is a repeat in that I've said it before already this season, and that was defensive errors. The defending of that corner kick after 2 minutes was really terrible. First from Busquets, who lost 2 challenges prior to Escudero whipping a cross that Duarte easily converted at the back post after De Jong switched off just 1 minute into the game. Really, it's those sort of things which, if you're Koeman, you're going to point to that, and if we're going to give, like devil's advocate, those are things I'll point at and be like, okay, look, that's not Koeman out there on the pitch. My next negative was the lack of a plan from Ronald Koeman. I said at the start that I was being a bit mean today, and one of the reasons for that are some of my thoughts on Ronald Koeman. Obviously, it's hard to say what his plans really were and what the match would have been like had Barcelona not given away a cheap goal early on in the game. However, you expect a coach at this level to be able to react, especially over the course of 90 minutes, and to find a better solution than throwing Piqué, De Jong and Araujo into the box and spamming crosses. I mean, I honestly wonder how much of what Ronald Koeman did yesterday was premeditated and how much of it just was reflex. I am of the mindset that it was not reflex. Like it was really premeditated. How early on in the match did Gerard Piqué start warming up? How early on did Luc de Jong start warming up? You could almost tell that this is what he was thinking of doing from early on. He wanted to bring them on and he wanted to be spamming crosses. It eventually led to the equalizer, so Koeman would probably be like, you know what, it worked. But look, it didn't win us the match either. So in my opinion, that was just nah. It was tactical ineptitude on Ronald Koeman's part. But let me not just be mean with Ronald Koeman here. Okay, a third negative is ultimately about the performance as a whole. I have to also say that the performance from the players on Monday night was just not good enough, with the exception of Araujo, of Dest and Ter Stegen, who once again Ter Stegen, there's not really much he could have done in this game to not concede a goal. I mean, sure, maybe he was a bit lost on that cross, but your defenders should be covering that back post, especially when the tallest guy on Granada's team is standing at the back post. I would give a pass here to Araujo, Dest, Ter Stegen, and maybe De Jong as well, despite the fact that he was the one at fault, because he did try and react. You saw a reaction from him. He was trying to do more. Otherwise, the players just didn't do enough to win that match on Monday. And I mean, the guys like Coutinho, they really looked like they had no idea what they were doing out there. De Jong really missing that header. Once again, for the third straight game, Barca were the worst team on the pitch, and I think that counts as a negative for the team as a whole. I'm not just looking at Koeman here. With that said, I will quickly talk about my one positive from this game, which was, once again, as has been the case so many times this season, performance by some of the youngsters. Des, I thought, was pretty good. I've seen a lot of people, like going after him like he was pretty poor. I thought, sure, maybe his final ball wasn't the best, but there were times when I would say maybe half of the crosses he put in weren't bad crosses, but his teammates just weren't reading his intentions. They were not in the proper place to actually score. Never mind the fact that he only had two people to aim at. I don't know what the midfielders were doing in this game, which is why I'm being pretty harsh here. Maybe I'm going to take back what I said about De Jong, because he didn't do enough of making runs into the box to get on the end of crosses. Same with Sergio Roberto, same with Felipe Coutinho when he was playing in midfield. And maybe that was a consequence of what Koeman told them. I don't know. But you know what? I'm talking positives. My positives here were performances from the youngsters, and I thought Dest did pretty well. Well, of course, we aren't counting Araujo, as a youngster, because I think now he's outgrown that. He's straight on just one of our best players. Gavi and Puig brought some much needed gusto and energy, although Puig I thought was a bit meh. But Balde looked pretty okay on his La Liga debut as well. It's a shame he had to come off with an injury. Demir, though, I have to say, he was very tidy in possession and he was quick to win back loose balls. He did pretty good in that respect. I just wish he would be more fearless when in those 1v1 situations and just try and beat his man more often. I mean, obviously it's not always going to come off, but I think if you try 10 times, you could at least beat your guy 4 or 5 times, considering how good he is at dribbling. And who knows what could come from those 5 times. Otherwise, based on Monday night's performance, he is still some way behind someone like Dembele, who is much more fearless on the ball and more willing to take a risk, and it wouldn't really surprise me to see Dembele walk back into this team. Alrighty then, the only thing that is left is to pick my man of the match, and I decided to go with none other than Ronald Araujo. I have on previous occasions mentioned the fact that Araujo has been putting in some top-class performances amidst other dross at the back for Barcelona. Today he decided to up the ante as he not only dominated his box when defending, but also the opposition box when attacking set pieces. There was even one moment where he was out wide, beating his man and whipping in a low hard cross, which Gerard Piqué almost got on the end of. No one player registered more shots on target than the Uruguayan, and the goal was merely the bare minimum that he deserved. Now, if Garcia or Mingueza can grow into their own alongside Araujo, then Barca could yet find themselves with a Piqué and Puyol style partnership at the back. That does it for my match review. What are your thoughts on the game and the performance of the team? Who was your man of the match? And going forward, do you think Koeman will still have a job after the next two matches? I mean, looking at how he played on Monday night. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for tuning in once again, and do not forget to like and subscribe to Blog Runner Everything for more content. Have a great day, and Forza Barca.